I say community, I mean just like England as a whole. That is your community. Whether you feel like you're not from here and your parents are from another place and they brought you here, or was born here but you feel like you're from somewhere else, all of those permutations don't actually matter. Where you live becomes who you are, whether you like it or not. Because in every day you live this life, and if you're not participating in it, you slowly just get erased, but you're still here. Like, there isn't a thing as like the black vote. There's the pink vote, there's like the female vote, there's votes that have names, but no one says the black vote. It just doesn't come up because nobody participates enough to even consider that a thing we have to target. And how politics work is almost supply and demand. If you imagine it as like a sweet shop, and there's 100 people outside, and 20 people are asking for like dime bars or whatever, then the shopkeeper decides that they need to stock dime bars. If they're looking outside as one guy wants a dime bar, but everyone's asking for bonbons, I'll just stock bonbons. Who cares about dime bars? Like, that is the reality. If we don't, and I say we, I mean all people who care about something, if you don't go and knock on the door with your request, then no, you won't even come into consideration. But, because in the end of the day, politics is really about representing the people, and if the people actually unify themselves and organise themselves for any cause, it will get heard. So homophobia has become a huge cause in the last 15 years, and now if you even consider making a homophobic slur online or anywhere, like, you could get hung, like proverbially hung. Women have now come together and unified and said it's no longer acceptable. Sexism is no longer acceptable. Misogyny is no longer acceptable. We want equality, and they're going to get heard. The Green Party developed a whole party off of the fact that we just want to be environmentally friendly. That happened 20 or some odd years ago, and they're being heard. So if you want yourself to be heard, you have to organise and play that game. Standing outside the fence being like, I don't care, I have this and that, doesn't help you.
And I think it is something where people need to look at, if they don't want to vote, where do they actually want to participate? You know, finances, economy, you know, support, because we are still seen as immigrants, but it's almost like
I feel like we see ourselves as immigrants more than anybody else. If you talk to any other 25-year-old that's in London, maybe because it's in London, but they're not thinking about, because I'm black, this is, I don't think that, like, they see us as just like, we're all the same. We're all trying to get a job. We're all trying to excel.
It's what? Cosmopolitan.
They just don't see it. And they actually don't even see the problem. And then that, because they don't see the problem, it infuriates more people to feel like they're trying to deny race. They genuinely just may not see it, because I don't define myself by racism. Even I experience racism so often, but at the same time, that's not the causality for who I am or where I am.
How would you know it's racism? Because when racism happens in certain regards, it's done in such a way that you have.
It's a lot more sophisticated.
Yeah, exactly. You would have to think. The common denominator probably is.
Well, let me say this. I experience discrimination in multiple formats. So, but I don't know if a woman's clutching her bag because I'm just big and tall, and I might be wearing a hood that day. I don't know if she's doing it because I'm actually black, or because she's scared of men and she had a bad experience with men before on a train. I don't know. So I can't definitively tell her that she's doing anything. But I know where my heart is. So I don't wear that tag. It's not on me. I don't, I hate seeing obvious acts of racism or any form of discrimination against anybody. Like, there is a real disconnect between, like, homosexuality and some of the music that we love. But I listen to the music, and I'm friends and family members are homosexual, but I don't, I don't have the opinion that, one is more or less. I feel like there needs to be a bit more education. I feel like there needs to be a bit more of a conversation. Like the other day, I was talking to someone and saying people don't understand homosexuality if they're straight because we've never really spoken about it. It's almost as if to say we accept it because it's there, but we don't need to understand it. We should just accept it. And I feel like whatever it is, whether it be race, whether it be gender, whether it be sex, we just need to have the conversation. Then we'll understand what it's like to be a woman when you're scared on the bus because some man has decided to sit next to you on an empty bus. And some people could be like, well, what does it matter? But to her, that's happened before and he did something weird. Or when someone's being called the F word in regards to homosexuality, and that reminds him of when he was coming home one night and got attacked for holding his boyfriend's hand. We don't know what the root cause of it all. We don't know the stories. So let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's talk about what that actually is and be a bit more open without the fear of prosecution. Because some people will come to me and be like, yeah, because you know you're black. They'll whisper it to me. Like, I'm like, I know, but you haven't got to whisper it. It's not a bad word. But they don't know what to say. They don't know how to approach when they're explaining their understanding of what they feel black people are or what they feel. So they whisper it to me. And I feel like I don't want to make them feel uncomfortable. So I say, no, it's okay. You can say that. Mm-hmm. But what's your question? And then they'll ask and then we'll talk about it. And that's good. I feel like that dialogue is missing. The fear of being called racist, homophobic, if you ask too many questions, is greater than the actual searching for information.
And I applaud you for even, looking at those things, because those are things that many of those within our community don't want to shed light on, or even have that as a conversation.
I just want the conversation. I don't really have the answers. It's a very in-depth subject, and I've heard people say the only way to get rid of racism is to stop talking about it. And some people are like, you got to go and educate and sit down with people. My thing is just I prefer the conversation, because I'd rather know that that's what you feel about me or feel about what I represent or what you think I am, than be sussed into a false lull of like security, and then you go home to your family and make jokes. So but that's just my preference, and I don't know if everybody has that preference. Some people like to be lied to, but I don't. I would never allow that to define my thinking, my ambition, what I want to do. It's almost like a weird like loser's mentality to have, like the system won't let me do things. Like it's a really weird. I don't know. I don't see it. When you talk about system, you sound crazy. You actually do sound like you're seeing ghosts, and there's because if you ask someone to explain it, it's like them, the government, the police, like systematically. Like I can't. I just don't see it in that way. Like,
well, it's your perspective. You choose not to see it that way. Because you could. Because the people who see it that way, they'll point to things historically within those structures.
But how is that stopping you today?
Okay, that's.
I get the acknowledgement of it and seeing it, but how is that stopping you today? Like, people are more engaged into different groups more than ever. You could actually just get a job because you are black or gay or whatever the situation may be. Positive discrimination, or just because people understand what that is now and they're no longer scared of it, so they may even like overly embrace it. You never know. I'm sure somebody's just hired me just because I'm black, and they think, oh, it would be nice to. He seems nice. Like, I don't know, but like I wouldn't let that stop me. And the drive that I have, I just feel like don't take that on. Like the best example you can be is a successful example, actually just getting off and growing and being a success. No one can deny that. It's there. Or when you go home, how do you feel about yourself? That's permanent. Like, that's what matters. Don't get into a conversation of like, I don't think I get this opportunity because, I don't know, this radio station will only give me a job because I'm black, but I can't go onto the other station because I'm what? Tell them that's what you want. Say I want to be on that station and work towards it. Like, that's your goal. Yeah. Shouts to Clara Amford also.
Oh yeah,
I didn't mean that. That sounded like a really weird link. Like I was thinking of them. I just thought about Clara Amford. Clara Amford. She's amazing.
And the thing about Miss Amford is that she is someone that I remember when I first saw her. She is damn good at her job.
Yeah.
She like when you see it, she's a on point.
She's just professional.
Yeah, she's a great presenter. And that's the thing. And she's like a lovely, warm-hearted person. So the success of her getting the success, someone else may feel that it should have been them. But I think when I look at it in terms of just actually from what I observe, her talent has shone through.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't see many corporations as, just to be seen as being politically correct, given those opportunities if the person isn't.
Not that level of prime time though.
Not that, no. Do you know what I mean? So
it's a lot. But no, I feel like it's weird because even when I saw it, I wasn't surprised. I was just happy. And sometimes you see things, you're like, how did that happened. That's amazing. Like, but it was more like, good.
Yeah.
Good. Well done, Clara.
And
Like,
she ain't gonna drop the ball.
No. I'd love to see her there for many, many years, like doing 10-year stretches and like breaking really good music, and just being a really good broadcaster, journalist, like, and striving to be better. And I feel like that's weird because when I was with Peter Rosenberg in New York and we was doing original filming, he was like nailing 15-second drops. He goes, how long is this drop? So 15 seconds. And he would do a, yo, this is blueprint, 15 seconds. It was 14.98 or something mad like that. And he was just doing 4 or 5, like, doing them all. And that's what I call, like, he's a brilliant broadcaster. He's a brilliant, like, journalist. The questions he asks, like, that means you're good at your job. No matter what you think, you may not like him, I don't care. He is actually good at his job, and that's all you can ask for.
That's true. And on that note, we'll leave it there, man, because I think a lot of people need to look at perfecting their craft and see the opportunities that will bring them.
It's an ongoing thing. I'm never done. Like, there's so much to do.
Mr. Harrison,
Thank you.
Appreciated.